Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. I gotta be honest, I am a little under the weather this week. I'm dealing with a little bronchial infection. A few members of my family are sick, but when you're mayor, you gotta come to work every day. So I worked from home for a couple of days this week, and I'm back in the office today. But it's a job that never stops. And so we're gonna not stop until we get through this Mayor's Corner this week. The first thing I want to mention to you this week is Clean Sweep is finally here. Okay, now Clean Sweep is put on by the Parks Commission. It's this Saturday. It starts at 9 a.m. down at Cashman Park. And this is the day of the year it kind of kicks off the park season here, and it really kicks off springtime here in Newburyport. So we all meet at Cashman Park, and then from there, all the volunteers that come and gather, we disperse to the 26 different parks in the city, and we help clean them up and get them ready for the season. I've mentioned this before, but this is the first community service activity that I'm promoting as mayor here at City Hall. So each month I'm going to encourage City Hall employees and elected officials and citizens to do an act of community service. And so for April, this is our event, is this Clean Sweep, which is a really great event. I was involved with it years ago when I was on the Parks Commission, and I've been, my family and I have tried to do it each and every year. So we're excited to take part in that this weekend. So Clean Sweep, Cashman Park, 9 a.m. on Saturday. I hope to see you all there. I want to give a huge shout out to the DPS. And I do this a lot because, again, they're such a wonderful department here in town. They do so much for citizens and residents each and every day. We have been really hitting our streets and sidewalks plan hard. If you look around, there's work going on in wards 1, 3, and 5 in the city, and we are just going like gangbusters. So you'll really see some really great progress in the next couple of weeks. We had a meeting this week about our petition process for the Streets and Sidewalks plan. That went really well. It actually affected where some of the streets and sidewalks fell in our plan. Some actually got moved up, so the petition process does help. So again, if you want to get that petition in, we're done looking at this year, but you can start petitioning for next year as well. What we've also learned at the beginning of this process is that we really need another part of this plan. And so we've got a really great 5-year plan set up right now, but this other piece is just areas that are safety concerns or areas that just need a sidewalk per se, because there's a few around town that just need a sidewalk, places like Rawson Ave and there's parts of Merrimack Street that just need a sidewalk. And I know the Mosley Ave area coming up from the Rotary down by the end of Spofford Street and Mosley Pines needs a sidewalk. So all kind of areas like that and safety areas, we're going to start putting another list together. And I'm going to work with our finance department and city council and allocate some funding on a year-to-year basis to work on some of these problem areas that don't typically fall in our streets and sidewalks plan, which is really kind of a street-heavy focused plan in doing the sidewalks on those streets that we're working on. We really need another list and another funding mechanism to work on this other important list. So I'm gonna be working with our TPS on that part. So I'll keep you posted on that, but I do think it's really important. And this is the perfect time of year to do that as we're starting to get ready to go through budget season. The last thing I wanna give TPS a big shout out on is the parklets are starting to get up downtown. And the parklets, if you remember, is our outdoor dining. Okay, so we have 13 parklets that we're going to be putting up. So DPS started this week. Hopefully they'll have them up by the end of next week. Please be patient and be aware of them out on State Street, Pleasant Street. But our DPS is doing a great job. This is the first year that we've put them together ourselves, which is why I'm so thrilled that it's going well so far, because we just weren't sure. But again, we have a wonderful crew down at the DPS led by Tony and Jamie. So keep up the great work, and I'm excited for outdoor dining to continue here in Newburyport. I want to talk about Newburyport Youth Services as well. If you're keeping up with the history here of NYS, we're looking for a permanent home for them. We purchased 59 Low Street in January, which was a nice compromise done by the City Council. And so now we're kind of going through the process and making sure that the future home of the NYS can be at Low Street, which is what I absolutely envision. So where are we in that process? There's a couple things going on. We collected quotes from our architecture firms because we want to move towards the cost analysis and concept design for NYS phase. And so we have chosen an architecture firm. So part of the budget and finance meeting tonight for City Council, we'll be talking about that process. My staff will be there to answer any questions, but we're really excited about the firm that put together a bid for us, and we'd like to move that process forward. And really, when we're getting down to it, first, I'm extremely excited about this this ability to kind of come up with this kind of vision for NYS for Low Street. I think this is absolutely, critical for our students, and I also think it's critical that it's outside the schools. It's close enough so kids can access to it, but again, it's a safe spot for them outside of school to learn, to enjoy from each other, and take advantage of the great programming that NYS does each and every year. So that's kind of where we are with that. So what I'm hopeful is, once we get down towards the end of this process, we're going to need 8 votes by the city council, right? We're going to need votes for the zoning, because the zoning is going to need to change down there. But we're also going to need 8 votes for whatever the plan is as far as what that building look like. What's the financial commitment from the city going to be? What are the details of the building, all right? So we're going to need buy-in on both of those. So I'm trying to work with city council every day to get us to a place that we can feel comfortable and work to a consensus on putting together a great home for NYS and moving that project forward. So I know there's a lot of people out there who are really passionate about this topic of NYS and their next home as well. Please be patient. We're going through this process, and I think everybody can see where we're going to end up. It's just working together and doing it in a way where we have a really clear process in place, and we're checking off all the boxes and doing all our homework. And again, I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited about the team that I have here in the mayor's office that's helping to move this project forward. So stay tuned for NYS. I think we're going in the right direction when it comes to 59 Low Street. The other thing I wanted to mention about NYS is that they recently discussed the results of their annual youth survey, okay? And one of the things it showed, and I don't think this is too big of a surprise, especially coming out of the pandemic, that there were real high rising levels of anxiety in our youth, okay? And that survey showed that it was close to 9% of our kids that were surveyed had experienced some sort of suicidal ideations within the last year, which is just crazy to think about. I grew up in this town. I have 3 kids that attend our school. So as a dad and someone who just really cares about Newburyport, I of course am taking this extremely seriously. I just want to say, if you're a kid out there who has thought about harming yourself, or even thinking about attempting suicide, there are people out there that can help you right now. So I do want to just provide the National Suicide Prevention Line. We'll put it up on the screen as well, but it's 1-800-273-TALK. So it's 1-800-273-8255. And that'll get you connected with a trained counselor who will be there for you and help you through this process. But again, the pandemic, really heightened a lot of the stress and anxiety levels, not only in our youth, but around the country. So, the second part of this is, just so you know, coming up, NYS is going to have their meeting with the Beacon Coalition on May 3rd at 4 p.m. at the Knock Middle School to kind of talk a little bit more about some of the other results from this survey they took. And they do this survey with the students, I believe, on an annual basis. And they really get a lot of insights and information on there that kind of, lead some of the programming that will take place the following year to kind of address some of the things that they're hearing about directly from kids. Which I think is great, because they didn't have anything like that when I was growing up. So it's nice giving kids an opportunity to voice what they're feeling on a day-to-day basis. So there's that. And thirdly, this kind of works right into what I started to mention last week, is that I am working on forming a mental health advisory group for the city. Again, I'm really excited about this. And if you are a mental health professional in the city and that you want to be involved, please reach out to my office with a cover letter and a letter of interest and a resume, because I do think there is so much more we could be doing collectively as a city to help with the mental health of our residents, particularly coming out of a pandemic. So again, we're still kind of formulating that, but I just want to get that out there. We are working on that. So if you're interested, please get involved. We'd love to hear from you. I know we have so much expertise in the city around this topic. But again, I think it's just another way that we can help support not only one another as a community, but really as a whole coming out of this, this very difficult past couple of years. Okay. So on other notes, again, those are all really good things. I was glad we got to talk about those this week. May 3rd coming up is the blood drive that I mentioned a few times. And I want to thank everybody, because we have booked up just about every single time slot for the blood drive. I'm really excited. This is taking place at the Senior Center. I will say there is one lone spot remaining for 3 p.m. on May 3rd. So if you still want to help out and give some blood that day at the Senior Center, log on to redcross.com, search our zip code and you'll find the blood drive on May 3rd, and you can sign up for that 3 p.m. time slot. Again, it's in honor of my good friend Jeff Stone, who passed away last year, but we'll continue to look for opportunities to do these blood drives throughout the year. But thank you again, Newburyport, for your great response. I'm glad we've just about sold out that day, which is really great news. I wanted to mention the Newburyport Literary Festival. That's still all virtual this year, which is too bad because I know this was always another sure tell sign of spring, this festival, and you could bop around town and see all the different authors coming in to talk about their books. So this is still all virtual this year, which is a bummer, but they still have a lot of great programming set up. So please log on to you can go onto the public library website to find out more information about that. I also want to mention that we are going to start our final interviews for the new library director position. As you know, Giselle Stevens is retiring on July 1st, which is a shame because Giselle is just one of the true gems of Newburyport, so hardworking, so wonderful at her job. She's going to be incredibly missed, but I love that she's been very involved in this process. And when you've got to fill big shoes, why not have the person that wears those shoes to help you fill them? So that's what Giselle's doing. And again, she's going to be missed, but we have her for the next couple of months, and we're excited to find the next person to take that role. So stay tuned for that. Another event I wanted to call out real quick. This Sunday, Nourishing the North Shore is going to have their Walk for Hunger. I mentioned this last week, but it's going to take place at Riverwalk. I believe it's 10 a.m. on Sunday, but check that out. That's a wonderful organization that helps not only Newburyport, but the greater Newburyport area around food insecurity and working with some other great nonprofits. So that Walk for Hunger takes place this Sunday. And finally, this week coming up on May 4th, and I'm a Star Wars fan, so I'll say may the 4th be with you. But it's the Massachusetts Walk, Ride, and Roll to School Day. So I will be meeting up at Anna Jake's Hospital to help walk a group of kids to the Bresnahan School for school that day. I'm lucky I live up by the hospital, which is why I got that spot, I'm guessing. But my kids get to walk to school every day, which is great, but not everyone gets to do that. But the weather is changing. You can walk, you can do your scooter, you can ride a bike. There's so many different ways to get to school than just having mom and dad drop you off. So I encourage everyone to take advantage of that on May 4th, and we're going to get out, and we're going to get some cars off the road that day, and we're all going to enjoy hopefully a nice spring day and a good walk to school. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I try to keep it short and sweet. I'm losing my voice a little bit. Again, there's a lot of sickness going on right out there now too. We're coming out of the pandemic, but I notice a lot more people, getting colds or getting infections. Please take care of yourself. Don't overwork yourself. You got to always take care of you, right? So take the time to get some rest, get better, because we're going to have a really incredible spring and summer here in Newburyport, and we don't want to be sick for it. So I'm going to go get some rest after I get a little bit more work done, but I hope you guys get some rest and enjoy the week and the weekend too. And just remember, if you're ever stuck in a corner, even if I'm sick, the mayor's got your back. So have a great day.